So we're going to start with the program tomorrow.
Yes, but tomorrow morning we are having a preview at 11:30. And I'm very curious to see what the reaction of the collectors is going to be and of the curators are coming, because it's a totally, in a way, it's a totally new show, because Vincenzo is proposing photographs with nature instead of cities. And you are proposing painting instead of kites. Is that really...
Yeah, it's going to be a good show. But I think it's really Vincenzo's kind of brainchild. I think all these drawings in the studio. But like to include me, at least. You saw like my source drawings in the studio. She did right there.
Yes, exactly.
It was 4 months ago.
Yeah.
And so you talked to me about this, God, me with Kiri and Estelle is so weird, And the premise of the show really was clear at the time. And as it became more clear that he wanted work that was odd, that was weird, that was kind of part of the studio mechanics, or the background of our lives, and the things that we do that are outside of practicing.
Yes.
Is that correct understanding?
Yes. But I also remember that when he was talking about the show with Ghirli and his new photographs of nature, he said to me, what we really need is a painter. We need a painter because the photographs and the Ghirlis are really about painting. And that's how your name came up, because of the drawings that we had seen. And so these paintings here sort of have now appeared, which are
which are new.
Which are very new.
I finished them here in Verona.
Exactly.
Well, we've shown what, 6 paintings a couple years, like 3 years ago?
4 years ago, 2008.
And I've always been really interested in painting. I think that most of my body work comes out of kind of vocabulary paintings. It's not a huge reach for me. I mean, technically it is, but formally, contextually, it's not a huge reach for me to work in painting.
Well, I also think that the installation that you just did in London at Bikini, I think that's very much to do with paintings and art.
Well, that had to do with also the space, because the space is a curtain wall glass on one side,
yes.
And it's seen the gallery at the end of that long street at the intersection. So you can see it from a block away from the corner. And that, because it's so frontal, I think that the whole composition of the room was built around the idea of seeing from outside. And so the composition of the installation is really designed around how you experience that piece from beginning on the street level, and then as you approach it, enter it, and kind of move through it. And the idea was that you had to create something that was just sexy enough to actually go in the space. There's a problem with the gallery like that, as you know. As we know from going around New York, is that if you can see every wall in the gallery from the outside of the building 100% of the time,
people don't come in.
I don't go in. Other people don't go in. And so I knew going into that show that a huge part of a huge obstacle for viewership was going to be seducing people to get into the space. And because of that, the show became kind of more compositional painting oriented, because I really wanted to emphasize that this kind of dramatic vista from the outside of the building.
But you are going to do more paintings now.
Well, it's interesting because once we started talking about the show, an opportunity came up to rent a small studio near my bigger studio in Verona. Because a friend of mine went to Città. So I took this little studio and moved all my paintings. And I had been stretching canvases and stuff several months in advance, because I've been wanting to start some paintings. And so I had all this stuff, all these paints, all these canvases that were ready to go, and I just moved them into the studio and started working on these little paintings. I'm working on 4 more larger paintings that are like 4 by 5 feet, and then some large works on paper. And what I've been doing is going and spending like my normal work day, 9 to 6 or whatever, 5:30, in my studio, you know, the studio where we make kinetic work, where we do the sculpture, where we do everything. And then getting on my bike and riding, you know, 7 blocks to this other studio, going in this rat's maze of like other little teeny studios. It's like a real Brooklyn studio with young artists, you know, mid-career artists, and all these different cool rooms. You get a piece of everything over the walls. It's like school almost. And I've been going down and painting, you know, for 3 or 4 hours every night, and it's really been a good practice to me creatively. I think it's put me in kind of a difficult position where I can't take for granted a lot of things that I take for granted in my other studio practice. And so I think that I'll probably get a permanent painting space when I get back. But I mean, I have the studio for another 2 or 3 months, and then I'll get back and I'll probably take a permanent space where I can paint. I don't know, you know, the thing is, part of the pleasure of painting is that it's not, I'm doing it to do it, not because anybody wants it, or because I feel any obligation to show them or anything like that. So they're really things that I make for me. There's no market for them. There's no. I mean, but I mean, it's in that sense, you know, it's something that I'm doing for my creative practice. I think that, yeah, if there is a market, we deal with that. You know, it's time. But I think for right now, I think that bringing the kind of creative information that I have, that I'm working, you know, those ideas in that studio back into the other studio makes it interesting.
Because I think it's interesting how the paintings are, in a way, very different, but then at the same time, they're sort of, they have a plot that really have any type of. So it's interesting. It would be very interesting to see what actually comes out of this.
Yeah, I think so. I think that we'll see where it takes me. But it should be fun, and I think that right now I'm having a lot of fun. So.
Thank you.